1 2 low. Do you hear me, my brother? Can you hear me? Lorenzo, I can't hear you. You there?
Are we on?
There we go.
We live?
I can hear you now.
Are we live?
All right, we're live now. Welcome to the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast. Yours truly, Eric Lee, and my man over there is
Lorenzo Iced Tea to the Thomas.
Man. Finally, man. Real football.
Yes.
Real football. Yes. Got a lot to talk about, man. A lot of injuries going on in the NFL, a lot of news, all of these things going on. We get a chance to talk to actually one of the owners of one of the owners in our league in our fantasy. That's coming up too. Of course, that injury report, it was crazy. What did you see this weekend, man? I know you were at the Dolphins game.
Yes, I was at the Dolphins game, and of course, we were really excited about what's his name? Some guy we just picked up, Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
that dude.
Him. That dude. You want to talk about someone it's probably our biggest acquisition since we picked up Ricky Williams.
Right.
The biggest star that we've had in South Florida. So it's probably Dan Marino, Ricky Williams, and then Tyreek Hill for the Miami Dolphins when it comes to the NFL. Of course, basketball is a totally different story.
Absolutely.
And it was like, they targeted him about 12 times. He had 8 receptions, close to 100 yards. And every time he would get his hands on the ball, the crowd would just erupt. You'd be expecting something special to happen. So at the Dolphin game, it was the game was sold out. Crowds were there. Not a lot of empty blue seats we're accustomed to seeing. A lot of times they criticize Miami fans for showing up late, especially when, it comes to the Miami Heat. You see a lot of those empty seats in the lower bowl and at Hard Rock Stadium. I like to get to the game early. I'm there about hour, 2 hours. I like to sit in my seat, sit back, watch the guys warm up and just soak it up because I'm so appreciative of the opportunity to be able to be a season ticket holder, to have great seats. And I just sit there and soak it up, and I really enjoy it. So Tyreek Hill, of course, the injuries on my team, the injury, TJ Watt was a big injury for me. So I've lost him for 6 games, or whether or not he decides whether or not he's going to get the surgery. So
we're going to talk about that definitely. So the crazy thing about it is Tyreek Hill for fantasy owners, especially in dynasty leagues, you didn't really know what you were going to get. With Tua, because you know what you're going to get with Patrick Mahomes. And speaking of Patrick Mahomes, he didn't do bad himself coming out without Tua.
No,
he threw about 5 of them things.
5 touchdowns, and I'm in another league, and I have him as my starting quarterback in that league, and I was the high scorer. Yes.
Okay, so you were doing it up. So I had 4. I'm actually in 4 leagues, and 1, 2 lost 2. I'll take that for right now. And of course. It's sometimes that's just the way it kind of happens that way.
Right.
Speaking of going to the games, man, I got a chance to go to the Falcons game. We played the Saints.
Yeah. Actually, it was a very entertaining game, right? It was kind of close, right?
Actually, a very entertaining game. We had Marcus Mariota. He did his thing, and then he turned to Marcus Mariota at the very end. And with 2 fumbles, we let the Saints come back in and beat and win the game. But however, in terms of a fantasy perspective, Cordell Patterson, he's the real deal. If you don't have him on your team, you got to definitely pick that dude up.
Right. Well, my question, because I was not able to see the game because I was at the Dolphins game, so I didn't have a chance to see. But I had a feeling that Kyle Pitts would have an issue against that very good New Orleans Saints defense. So I guess they schemed to stop him because he didn't get a lot of targets, or of course, I think he only had 2 receptions for the day.
Yeah, they bracketed him pretty much. They had a linebacker and a safety over top of him the whole time, or a corner. But that opened up the field for the freshman, the brand new guy. Yeah, Drake London, 5 catches, 75 yards. So, if you didn't think this guy was the real deal, this guy is the real deal. So Cordell Patterson, 125 yards. I mean, it was a good day for the Falcons offense as well as the Falcons defense. If you're playing with a solid defense, I mean, it was 4. They had 4 sacks. So, the defense looks good. But what we do in our league, of course, is independent defensive players. So, you got to pick a player.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the injuries, man. Go
Well,
ahead.
no,
Before we go.
because you pointed on that, I want to say that my Miles Garrett selection, which came, I can't remember exactly, maybe in the fifth. And I've been talking about the selection
For 4
because,
weeks.
right, because I was so nervous because I passed up on J.K. Dobbins.
Right.
There was also Jerry Jeudy, which was available. Those two players were sitting there. Deontay from Pittsburgh. And I had question marks about those players. So I said, I want to make sure I go with a player that I know is going to score points.
Right.
So instead of picking those players, I picked Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett.
That's cool.
And he scored 30 points for me.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting back now. Could have gotten him later on in the draft. It's possible, but maybe not. So he scored more than either. J.K. Dobbins didn't even play.
Yeah, man.
So,
and if you look at Khalil Mack, he scored like 48 points.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Crazy. So
that's the difference in our league to whereas those players score just as much as a wide receiver or a running back.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So the big news, man, that dude right there. That dude right there.
Oh, you want to talk about injuries?
Oh my God. Them Dallas fans, they sick. But
That's
if you own him, Lord have mercy. Dak Prescott went down. And Jerry Jones is hilarious because when did he become the doctor? Oh, he'll be out a couple of weeks. Come to find out, what is 6 to 8 weeks for
6
Dak?
to 8 weeks. Yeah. So, 6 to 8 weeks.
So if you own Zeke, if you own CeeDee Lamb, if you own Schultz, what do you do, Lo?
I think their value goes down.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, tremendously.
I think so.
Because you think Zeke, he ran the ball somewhat better in this game, but now they're going to key on him. I didn't pick any Cowboys.
Right.
I didn't trust the fact that they lost Amari Cooper and they lost Wilson. So they lost their number 1 and their number 3 wide receiver and then replaced them with anyone. And you're expecting CeeDee Lamb to now become the number 1 wide receiver where he hasn't even proved it. And then the offensive line is not what it used to be. So therefore, everyone was thinking these Cowboys were going to be good, but they don't have 2 players. They didn't replace them. And then what is their depth? Right. Do they have depth? And I really think basically now, see, they just kept saying, they scored, they were number 1 scoring offense last year. That was last year.
Right.
This is a different year. And where was that offense against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? They only came up with 3 points. So if you got Cowboys on your fantasy team, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think you're in big trouble if you got Dallas Cowboys on your team right now.
Right.
Because realistically, right now, what are you thinking? They're going to flood the box. So no matter who's running the rock,
right?
Nobody's scared of Cooper Rush. Nobody's scared.
But you know what? I the only saving grace that they have is that they're playing, as I've said before, in the NFC least. So their schedule coming up for the next 6 games is not a difficult one.
Right.
So if they're able to get some type of running game, they can be able to, and the defense played pretty well against Tampa Bay, Right. So if the defense can keep them in games and they're able to run the ball, they may be able to pull out a few wins here and there because the schedule is somewhat, it's not daunting. Not easy, but it's not as difficult as, say, my Dolphins, who started off against New England. They got Baltimore, then they got the Bills, and they have Cincinnati. Those are our first 4 games out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it looks like one of the super guests have got into place. The gentleman that I'm about to bring on, he works with me in media here in the ATL. He's a big Chiefs fan. He's the only He's the only Chiefs fan that I actually know that lives here in Atlanta. He owns the team. What's the promo man? What's the name of your team, man?
The Mahomies.
The Mahomies.
Oh, yeah, I like that name. I like that name.
Welcome, Mike McKenzie.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I just want to let you know real quick. I heard y'all talking about the defensive players in our league that got you crazy points.
Right.
I was struggling until Bradley Chubb decided to show up in the fourth quarter. He got me 31 points.
Yeah, so I watched that.
Those important defensive players mean something.
Yeah, and it's funny because you were playing Who Dat Nation. So, I was happy that you beat up on him, after what they did to us. Right? Yeah, somebody did, but it was crazy because you had 3 players, right, last night playing?
Yeah. I had 3 players, including Melvin Gordon was playing 2. And I forgot the third one off the top of my head.
You had a defensive back playing.
Oh, Simmons.
Yeah, you were killing it. I said, okay, all right. So, but before we go into, we get heavy into talking to you, Mike, we got to put you on our hot seat.
And this is what you on the hot seat, man.
Yeah. we got to put you in the Dirty South hot seat. And basically, it's real easy. We give you 2 selections. You just choose one or the other. Real easy. First and foremost, Beyonce or Janet.
Janet.
Damn.
My girl's gonna hate me for saying that, but Janet.
All right, let me see what you know. Bootsy or George Clinton?
Oh, George Clinton. Easy.
Okay. White Castle or Crystals?
Crystals, because I've never had White Castle, believe it or not.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I'm from the New England area, New England tri-state. It's crazy.
All right, The Rock or Stone Cold?
The Rock, don't do that. That's easy.
Damn. Bud or Miller?
Bud.
Holyfield or Tyson?
Tyson.
You're officially off the hot seat. Yeah, we got to know what we're working with here. Now it's crazy because all 3 of us won in our games yesterday. But
yes.
But what we'd like to do, man, is go back to what you did in the draft. So your first pick, man, we're back here. Let's see what you got. Stefon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a bad look. Brady, Waller. Because you put up points. You put up crazy points yesterday.
I might be thinking of the other league, but I won.
But you did. You won.
I won.
He scored like 170, right?
Yeah, he killed
170.
It. So.
That's what it was. 170. Yep.
What made you start with Stefon Diggs?
I always usually in my leagues go with a receiver, right?
First?
And
with
who was available,
mm-hmm.
You have to think back to basically how Josh Allen and Steven Diggs, how they ended their season last year.
Okay.
They're coming back for blood. And that, they've worked together for a couple of years now. Off season was crazy. You just had that thought of the way Diggs has always been and the way he's going to look into this season coming up, that he was going to do something crazy. And the first game did not disappoint.
Okay. Good stuff, man. Well, you did well. You won. Low, you won.
I have a question I want to follow up with. Did you think about wait a minute. That's right. In this draft, all the quarterbacks went early.
Yeah, everybody.
So in most drafts, the quarterbacks are not going in the first round. Right. They're going like Josh Allen is kind of coming around. Maybe if it's in a 14 or a 12 team league, you have a chance to maybe pick him around, let's say 20 something, And I was in one draft and I picked in another league. I picked Stefon Diggs. And when it was coming back around, I think I was picking like 12 out of 14. I thought for 1 second about picking Josh Allen to have that quarterback wide receiver combination because, they're going to go off this year. But then I wouldn't have had one of the top backs, So did you consider kind of doing that, or do you consider doing that with a wide receiver and quarterback combination?
So it's funny you asked that. Another league that I'm in, which is our 929 The Game league on the 9th floor of our building, I got Allen and Diggs.
Okay.
I got them both, and they both helped me out very much on Thursday night.
You stacked up real well, my brother.
Yeah.
But look, at the end of the day, I think I got Josh Allen in the 3rd round, second.
So you were able to pick a good running back.
Correct.
Right.
But my running back in that league was Akers, was my first pick.
Ooh.
Because there were none left. So that's what it was. That's what it was.
He gave me
down in the 2nd round.
He gave me a 0. That's what Akers gave me.
He gave a lot of people 0.
Yeah, I dropped him in a league.
Already?
Because he was that bad.
Yeah, I saw that. He did do that.
I dropped him.
Why did you drop him?
Because when I was watching the experts, they were like, look, he's in the doghouse. He may not play much at all. What's the guy that got all the snaps?
Henderson.
Yeah. He's the one back. He's the one back. So I went back and actually tried to pick up the guy from Detroit that was backing up Swift. He scored twice.
Right. Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams. And we'll talk about that too. Matter
Right.
of fact, if you've got any questions about either starting or sitting any of your players for this week, you already know. Go ahead and hit us up in the chat. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it. We got Mike in the place along with yours truly and Lorenzo in the house. Mike, we were talking about some of the injuries that are going on in the league. We talked about Dak.
Of course.
Now we're going to talk about this guy right here. That's your play, ain't it, Lo?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that hurt me.
Yeah.
And I was not even, I didn't start him. Had I started him, I would have scored close to 200 points.
Yeah, TJ Watt is a monster.
Yeah, but because he got injured in the preseason, I wasn't sure whether or not he was going to play. And then I got the Vikings linebacker who Hendricks, who scores a lot of points because he tackles. He gets a lot of tackles. But Green Bay's offense wasn't doing anything, so that's why he didn't have a whole lot of tackles to make. So I wasn't sure whether or not to start TJ because he was injured in the preseason and I'm at the football game.
Right.
So I wasn't really able to, set my lines before 1:00, or I would have started him, but I had him on my bench. I did well, but I would have scored close to 200 points had he not been injured, and I would have normally started him because, I drafted TJ and Myles Garrett back to back. So those have been, so I'm going to ride with them throughout the season, but because he got hurt, I decided not to. So yeah, that hurts, but he already on IR right now. So I got an extra spot. So I'm waiting to see what I'm going to fill him with.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This guy right here. Now that.
All right, hold on, my turn.
Okay,
so,
let's go back.
Just so y'all know. No. Go back. Go to Keenan.
Oh, okay. All right.
So first off, I never, ever wish injury on anybody. Let's get that straight.
Absolutely.
But I am not mad at the situation because
you have Mike Williams.
Thursday. We got
that
them
again
on Thursday.
Oh,
the Chiefs play them on Thursday.
Oh,
right?
the Chiefs play. Okay. He's talking real football.
Yeah, real football. He's
like, receiver down. I know we're talking fantasy. I'm just saying. I just had to throw that out there.
Right. I feel you.
Receiver down. But I will say, in general, from a fantasy standpoint, anyone who does have Keenan Allen, arguably one of the best route runners in the league.
I've got him,
Eric. So it's going to be a huge loss. Now we don't know how long he's out. Do we? Like, I know it was just.
No, actually, they said that he wasn't going to play this week, and they didn't want to rush him back. They've been a little vague about how long he's going to be out because they said it's a strain. Right. But we know he's not going to play this week. So if you're out there and you got Keenan Allen, his backup is DeAndre Carter. So he's going to get some between Mike Williams and DeAndre Carter. That's where all the ball's going to go. So pick him up. Matter of fact, he's available in most leagues. So
hey, Mike, I still will be nervous because if you saw the arm talent of Justin Herbert in that game against the Raiders,
he'll beast.
The pass he threw to one of the wide receivers, I can't remember who it was, but he threw it low, and in the touchdown, he must have thrown it 40 yards on a line right in between the safety and the cornerback, and he threw it like by the guy's knees. So so the wide receiver wouldn't get hit by the safety. Yep. It was on a line. And then another touchdown he threw to the tight end where he was rolling out to his left. He turned his hips while backpedaling, threw the ball on a line about another 30 yards for a touchdown. And I'm sitting there watching this saying, how could the scouts of the Miami Dolphins not see this armed talent and go with Tua, who's coming off of a hip injury that was career threatening? Yeah. I'm like, how could you not see this? I don't get paid to be a scout, but Herbert is ridiculous. So it almost doesn't matter.
I am nervous.
Yeah, it almost doesn't matter what the wide receiver. I'm saying that to say it doesn't matter what the wide receiver is, because if that wide receiver is somewhat open, he's going to throw him open because his arm is so talented. I mean, it's throws that make you say like, "Oh my goodness."
Oh, he's good.
Now, in fairness, you know who my quarterback is as well. Who people say the same thing about Mahomes, but I will go back to Herbert when I say the other secret weapon they have, which makes me even more nervous than any wide receiver, is their running back Eckler.
Yeah.
Right? Because I will say they have a better running game at this time than the Chiefs do. And that's where my nerves come in. Not the receivers, on what Herbert can do with Eckler or what Eckler can do when you just hand the ball off to him. So, yeah, I'm definitely still nervous about this game. Let's not get it twisted.
What's his name? It's Joshua Palmer. Watch him. Okay. Watch him.
That's the dude.
That's the dude to look out for in this game.
Okay. We're going to go on to the next one. But before we do that, one of my buddies, Daniel Hunt, said, hey, y'all, he is in Facebook jail more than he's out of jail. So it's always interesting to follow him. What's up, Daniel? You're a big Dallas Cowboy fan, too.
Woo!
So he been, matter of fact, he actually dogged the Cowboys, which he usually doesn't do because of what happened to Dak. So another injury, man. This dude right here, Chris Godwin, Tom Brady's man. What do you do if you own him? I mean, if you got Julio there, you still got Mike.
Honestly, I think if you have him, you either one bench him or you drop him. You're right. He does have Mike Evans. He does have Julio and
Gage
and Russell Gage. But Julio surprised a lot of people on Sunday.
He sure did.
Julio's kind of making that statement of like, look, a lot of people wrote me off, but I
didn't write them back.
He did right back, right, Gino?
That was pretty cool.
That's right. That
was good. That was good. But I would if I have Chris right now, I would either bench him or drop him.
Okay. I just put him. I mean, fellas, there's an IR that we have.
Well,
in our league.
I think what happens is because most of us play in multiple leagues, and we got the deepest bench in our league.
Right.
Then, like in my other redraft leagues, you got about 5 or 6 on the bench. You ain't got room for foolishness.
Do you have an IR? Do you have an IR?
They don't do IRs.
Okay, gotcha.
IRs.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
But here's the question: however long he's out, when he does come back, is he someone you're going straight to free agency to pick him up? That's the other question.
True.
Right.
True. Well, if you're looking for a wide receiver, I mean, what's it? Jamison Crowder's out there. 59% owners own him, so there's still places for him. And he showed out last Thursday with Josh. He did all right. He got about 50 yards. So, I mean, there's some folks that you can kind of replace him if you want to put him in a flex. What about this guy right here? Oh, San Francisco. And
who is that?
Oh, Elijah Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
Elijah Mitchell. He's out.
I couldn't tell.
IR. They put him on IR. His backup, Jeff Wilson. He's going to replace him. So if you're looking for a replacement, if Elijah Mitchell's on your team, Jeff Wilson is the man. They say he's only about 72% of most leagues, so he is available. Definitely available. So I got a question: start him or sit him? I've got some situations that I maybe I shouldn't be asking you guys because you probably
I know we're all in the same league.
Take me down the wrong path.
You were talking about what wide receivers to pick up. I said I'm not saying anything because I got a couple I'm trying to pick up now.
Yeah. And we got to be a little, for the folks that are out there checking it out.
Right.
But check it out. Akers and Henderson. Akers didn't do much. He actually they said he's in the doghouse. Henderson has pretty much taken over the deal. I dropped him. What do you tell your folks out
Henderson
there?
Or Akers?
I dropped Akers. I'm trying to pick up Henderson. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I mean, you got to go with Henderson then, and he's actually faster than I thought.
Yeah,
Henderson.
He's actually faster and a lot quicker than I thought. Okay. I must have gotten him confused with another running back that was in that backfield last year. And it wasn't Sony Michel. It was someone else. There was someone else that was there. I can't think of his name right now, but I think I was getting Malcolm Brown. No, it wasn't Malcolm Brown. Is Malcolm Brown there? I can't, but I think until I saw him in the game on Thursday, I was like, oh, he's much faster than I thought. So, and you got to realize the Rams were playing against the Bills.
Right.
So they're going to bounce back and they're going to do pretty well. But the Bills are just like a juggernaut right now. And they're just motivated from, losing the game in 13 seconds. So
yeah. And Josh Allen looked like he's just picking up. He's just picking up from where he left off.
I'm just glad to see them bully someone else other than the Miami Dolphins, because that's what we've been seeing for the last 3 years. I mean, quarterbacks, you're up by 20 and you're running quarterback sweeps in the fourth quarter. I mean, like, I'm screaming, hit him, not realizing how big he is. And he's giving people the Heisman and the stiff arm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's so big. He's so big. But someone has got to hit him and make him feel it so he can stop running. Someone has to do it. You know, I'm not saying give him a cheap shot, but hit him so he feels it. You know?
Did you hear where Chris Collinsworth, it sounded like he cringed every time Josh ran the ball. He was like, dude, don't do that. You're the quarterback.
Yeah.
What makes you think you're not, don't be tough. I was like,
well, that's what a lot of people aren't getting. A lot of people aren't. I'm like, yeah, he's big. He's a tight end size quarterback. He can take those hits.
Right.
But that's week 1. Week 10, week 11, you're taking the same amount of hits. How's your body going to react? Are you going to be ready for playoffs? Are you going to be ready for the season?
He doesn't.
Ask Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
That's true. That's true.
Cam Newton. He's always good.
Someone end up hitting Cam.
Yeah.
No one has hit Josh yet.
Right.
And is that a Josh thing, or do you put some blame on the coach as well?
I put the blame on the players, not the coach. Well, the fact that he's running the ball.
Yeah, that he's running the ball.
That's the coaches and him. That's the coaches for calling the play. You know, but I love the mentality. It's bully ball. It was like, look, you know, we are coming here to abuse you. And if we're up and we're playing you, we're going to run the ball, but we're also going to embarrass you, and we're going to run a quarterback sweep. Who runs a quarterback sweep?
Actually, we did a lot on Sunday. Mariota was going option left, option right.
He also dropped the ball twice on Sunday too. So
see? And he's not as big as Josh.
I'm gonna keep my personal thoughts to myself because this is recorded. I don't want to be in Facebook jail. But the first time I will forgive you for fumbling inside of the 5-yard line. And I figured, you know what? I fumbled. I messed up. We didn't score. So I'm going to pay extra attention from the center quarterback exchange and won't have that happen again in the game. Now we get ready to ice the game. All you need to do is hike the ball. I need to check your account. I mean, I just need to check your account at this point, Mr. Mariota, because you've been having the quarterback center exchange since you were 9 years old, playing for the Hawaii Falcons from all of those videos we've seen. I don't want to get shut down.
Okay. I wish I didn't see the game, so I can't comment too much on it.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Start him or sit him. We got DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, man. DeAndre is the workhorse.
It's Swift all day. It's Swift all day. I got Swift in the league.
Guess who scored 2 touchdowns?
That's all right. Swift still scored a whole bunch of points.
Yeah, okay.
And I have in this other league, I have Swift, I have Gibson, and I have Kareem Hunt as my running backs.
How'd you do all of that, man?
Who
are you drafting with? 12-year-olds, man?
No, 14. No, I just no. This dynasty league prepared me for that draft. I was so prepared.
Yeah,
I was so ready. I went Diggs. I went Swift. Came back around. I grabbed Pitts. Then I grabbed Gibson. And then I got Patrick Mahomes. You know, those are my first 5. I can't remember where I went after that. But I got Brandon Cooks as a wide receiver and Diggs in my starting 2. And I might be weak at wide receiver. But Swift is going to be, you know, he's going to be all right. And that was a tough game. So, you know. So
you say stay with Swift and just hold Jamal just in case something go down.
That's right. That's right.
Swift got hurt. He did get hurt last year. So.
That's right. So he's going to take some of the carries away, but Swift is still going to get those points. And the Lions' offensive line is so good, so they're going to run the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? They have a great offensive line, so that's going to keep them in. And you got their coach. Former coach of the Miami Dolphins, Dan Campbell, is all about running the rock down their throats.
Bite the ankles.
That's right. So they're going to run the ball. They're definitely going to run the ball. So, you can't go wrong with either or, but you stay with Swift.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Anything out there that you saw? We got John Parler. Hold on, before we do that. Okay, so now, all right, you know what? I'm gonna be real transparent. Shout out to John Parler. Eric, you better be talking about the beating you took. He got me
by 40 points. Was it by 40 points?
No, it was 30. I think it was 30. I think it was 30.
Someone was in the chat and said you got beat by 40 points.
That was the other. I told you I won 2 and I lost 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got beat bad in both of them.
Wow.
So yeah, 40 and 1 and 30 and this. So I shouted you out, John. I did. It wasn't I was transparent about it. I'll take my lumps. Take my lumps. Yeah. We've got about 3 at the radio station.
I got to show you, since you're talking about blowouts, 40. I beat someone by, almost. Can you see the score there? Can you see that?
Barely. But what is
that? 200 something?
Yeah, 200 something to 169.
Oh
yeah. That's a beatdown. That was a beatdown.
So we love playing fantasy football. Just in case you guys don't know out there, feel free to drop us a chat in the chat line. We'll shout you out. I'll even be transparent if I lose, but I did win too, so I beat up on a couple of folks.
You're 500. That's good.
Yeah, I'm 500 for the week.
Yeah.
I'm 500 for the week.
Who you play this week? You know? And
guess what? I got to play. Believe it or not, and congratulations. Matter of fact, we're gonna have him on the show. Carl Dukes. He is a Emmy award-winning announcer. He won an Emmy. Shout out to Carl Dukes. So I get a chance to play him. I think who beat him up? Somebody beat him up bad this week. Because he talks trash. Because
he does.
He talks trash, but he took an L.
Well, We Them Dudes, that's his name?
We Them Dudes.
Yeah.
Yep. You took an L, Carl. You took an L.
Yeah, and he made the big mistake of putting why. As a Miami Dolphin fan, I asked that question. Why did we ever trade Mika Fitzpatrick? Brian Flores. Mika Fitzpatrick scored 42 points. And he was on the bench. He was on dude's bench.
Right.
I also had TJ Watt on my bench, so I can't talk. But I had a good reason because he was hurt in the preseason.
Yeah.
So
anything out there that you saw that you weren't expecting to see over the weekend?
I think the biggest thing is I don't know if anyone even picked up Geno.
Oh yeah, that was surprising.
That's right.
I doubt he got picked up from anyone's league. But I mean, granted, even though he didn't have like Russell Wilson numbers of 300 plus yards, the guy had a stellar game in general to obviously carry the team with the help of the defense. But his first quarter or first half was almost, I think it was like 17 for 19.
Right.
So, whether it was just, hey, I want to show off in front of Russell Wilson or whatever the case may be, Geno is someone that I would at least see what game 2 looks like, but still pick and maybe put him on my bench for a little bit.
Well, I'm going to go on and see exactly how many people have actually rostered Geno. Looks like Geno has been rostered in about 51% of the league, of all the leagues. Can only imagine next week when we pull him back up how much he's been rostered. He's probably been rostered all over the place. Because people can pick him up. He showed out last night. He looked really, really good.
How many fantasy points did he score though?
Let's see. Let me drop my phone. 18.
He didn't pass for 18. He didn't pass for 200 yards, so he got 18 points.
18 points.
So I mean,
he
pick that up.
200. He didn't hit 200.
I don't think he did. I don't think he had over 200 yards passing.
195.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. The problem is he got sacked twice, so that took 4 points away.
Right.
So he probably was right about 22. Hey, Lo.
Yeah.
One of my buddies I went to high school with, elementary school with, who's constant on our show. Rob, VA Rob, told us about his Steelers last week. Remember, he talked about them Steelers.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He came back. Well, congratulations, Rob. You're right. Your Steelers did work, but they almost lost that game.
For real.
Cincinnati was on them. But I'm going to give you your props, Rob. I'm going to give you your props.
How many interceptions did Joe Burrow throw? 4?
4.
and it took a blocked extra point for them to win.
Right.
I wouldn't be bragging too much about that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
somebody throws 4 you supposed to blow that team out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get 4 interceptions and you let a team score to tie up the game with 0 seconds or 2 seconds left to go in the game and an extra point. If they kick it, you lose. So,
yeah. Well, Mitch didn't look bad. So he was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he was serviceable.
And Burrow was still, he had his appendix taken out, so he's still getting over that, trying to get his strength back and so on and so forth. And the Steelers can't talk because T.J. Watt is going to be out. Oh, and Najee Harris got hurt. That's another one we forgot about, right? Is he going to play this week? He hurt his foot.
Yeah, he said he's going to be ready for
Okay,
Sunday.
so who is it? Who's the backup? Somebody Warren, right? Jalen Warren? You got him, E. You got him, E.
Well, I can tell you in a second if I got him.
He's like, hey, Mike. Eric is like, oh, I got him?
You don't even know. He's like, oh, this guy looks good. I like his name.
No, I don't have him.
You don't have him, E?
No, that's not mine. I'm looking at mine right now. I got McKinnon. I got Hilliard.
All right, I'm wrong. I could have sworn I saw that you had him.
Okay. No. So,
because I was looking at him.
I mean, it's a hell of a pick right now. So, anything else y'all saw over the weekend?
I mean, I mentioned a couple of games. I mean, that Justin Herbert,
I got 2.
Just looks.
What do you think about Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, that was terrible.
And what do you think about what's my man Trey, the kid over at San Francisco?
Trey still needs a little bit of work.
Go ahead, Mike.
He needs some work.
Trey still needs a little bit of work.
Trey still needs some work. Keep Jimmy G is what you're saying?
Definitely keep Jimmy.
That's what they saw in the preseason.
Jimmy will come in, and
Rob said a win is a win.
Yeah, true.
Very true in the NFL. Jimmy should stay. I wouldn't be surprised either. Now, knowing or not thinking I know, what's his name, the coach for the 49ers?
Shanahan.
Kyle.
I think because of his pride, I think he's going to try and keep Trey in as much as possible.
Right.
But I don't think it's a bad idea of maybe after a few games, depending how Trey does, to put Jimmy in. As far as Aaron's concerned, I'm scared. I'm just scared in general for the Packers and for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, for the first bomb of the game, and it goes through your wide receiver's hands, like literally, there was no one within 5 yards of him, and he dropped the ball.
Right.
And that was a bomb. Like that could have been the start of a great season to the Packers. But the other part about it is from a personal level, or from the media standpoint, how Aaron is talking about his receivers.
Right.
He doesn't seem to show love or show support to really back them up. It's more of, all these mistakes being made. There are going to be more mistakes. As the season gets later on, our patience is going to get thin. Like, come on, man. I mean, these guys are rookies. Them. They're young. There's the reason they put them on the team because you lost Adams. You got to show a little bit of support.
And whose fault was it that they lost Adams? Who took all of the money off the table?
Rodgers.
Yeah. So can't be mad at it. Like you said, it takes a while to develop to the speed of the game. He didn't play in preseason. So it's not like he had an opportunity to gel with the players.
Now, but hold on. This is the scary part too. We all know Aaron Rodgers. Eric, you brought up a good point. He didn't play during the offseason. Does he need maybe 3 or 4 weeks and then he's back to the same Aaron Rodgers? He gets his receivers in check and everything like that. That's what we don't know. That's what makes him so good. So just something to keep an eye on, at least.
Yeah, I mean, what was the line last year? Relax.
Right. Right. They did get blown out in week 1 of last year's opener. So
they got blown out, and he was the MVP of the league.
True.
Yeah, but now he has young wide receivers, and that's why I think he should have been playing in preseason and getting that chemistry established between him and the wide receivers, and having them be comfortable with you. Imagine what was going through. What's his name? Was it Curtis Watson? The wide receiver's name, the rookie, whatever it was. Can you imagine? It's the first play. Aaron Rodgers is throwing you a bomb. It's in the air. He cursed you out in training camp and in practice for dropping balls. All of this is going through your head as the ball is coming to your hands, and it's so much pressure on the wide receiver that he drops it. Aaron Rodgers is in his head as he's running down the field.
Yeah.
So he's got to get with them, practice with them, do some extra practice after practice just to get their chemistry and their confidence back up. Yeah. I think that's what he has to do.
Oh man, fellas, man, this was fast, man. We way over time.
Yeah.
Hey, we way over time.
It helps when everyone knows what they're talking about too.
Yeah, we way over time, man. We got a chance to talk about a whole lot, and we got week 2 coming up, and it kicks off with a great game, the Chiefs versus the Chargers. That's gonna be high flying, bombs away. Oh yeah. How Terrell Owens say? Get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get your popcorn ready for this one, man. Mike, let everybody know how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, man. Instagram. It's I don't know if you guys can see my name on the bottom.
Oh, we see it.
1224 Mike. Mm-hmm. So at 1224 Mike is my Instagram. That is also my Twitter handle as well. And then just Michael McKenzie for my Facebook.
Ice-T, what you sitting on social media?
Well, I gotta let Mike know. Hey, I got Isaiah Pacheco, man.
You should keep him. You should keep him.
I like him. He's like, yes. Like him, so man. when you saw me draft him, did it tick you off just a little bit?
Not too much, honestly. Okay. I didn't know much about the guy. But
wow,
that's just. I mean, I've heard a lot of the Kansas City analysts talking good about him. I saw what he did in the fourth quarter on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
So I liked his future. Mm-hmm. So now I can be mad at you, but
I reached in that dynasty draft for them because I wanted to make sure I got him and the wide receiver out of Green Bay. God, what's his name?
Talking about the rookie.
Yeah. Romeo, Dobbs. So those two, I picked those back to back because it's a dynasty league. So these guys are gonna be, I think they'll be doing very well upcoming. So you can find me, of course, at Star 94.5 in Orlando. Eric Lee. Yes. Number 1, 6+ in the afternoon, my brother. 5 months in, number 1 in the afternoons, 6+. So that's a big thing.
Congrats.
And this will be the first time. Press release hasn't got. I got another job, so I haven't even put the press release out yet. So I'll go ahead and pause on that. But you can follow me. That. Yeah, press release hasn't gone out about the breaking news. You can follow me on Twitter at Lorenzo Thomas, on IG at Lorenzo Ice-T, and on Facebook at Lorenzo Thomas as well.
And you can catch me on Twitter at Dirty South FFL. On Twitter, and if you're catching this on replay, make sure you hit the subscription button as well as the notification button. So when we go live or when we put content out, you'll be the first to see it. As well as if you're on Facebook, please hit the like button. It helps out with the algorithm, helps out with the channel. We're going to do this each and every Tuesday throughout the season, and then some after that too. So we're going to talk about fantasy football, the NFL, some of the college games if they're significant enough, each and every Tuesday as we recap and talk to you about what's coming up in the league on a weekly basis. It's the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast.
Hey, E.
Yes,
maybe
sir.
We should throw in some entertainment news and make it stretch it to an hour.
You know what?
It might be something.
Why not?
Because we could definitely talk that, especially with what happened to Cheryl Lee Ralph last night getting that Emmy. Did you see her sing her acceptance speech?
I was watching football. I'll catch it on YouTube.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
but I'll catch it on YouTube.
Do yourself a favor. You know her story.
Yeah. Of course.
Just go check it out. Just go see it for yourself. It'll move. As an artist, it will move you.
Okay.
For sure. Okay. You'll be moved.
I will check it out. So, guys, first and foremost, Mike, thanks for taking the time out and joining us tonight.
Not a problem. Thank you for the invite.
Much success to you until you play me. That's just, I'm just going to keep it real 100 and keep it funky with you.
Right.
And of course, Lorenzo, always, brother, thank you for taking the time out, man. I know you got things going on and you
my pleasure,
spent some time with us for today. So
no doubt. Thank you.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.